Finally, you go to this point where you are like, wait a minute, this reselling is not as easy as people make it seem. You are not alone. In this video, I'm going to be telling you why this is so and what you can possibly do to have a shift in mindset and to give you a different approach to reselling. You see, should be said, in the recent times, it's becoming increasingly more lucrative to go on YouTube and talk about selling on eBay. And sometimes you even get better returns and a better use of your time if you were just to talk about reselling than to actually go all out and do the work. Because the truth is, it's hard to be a reseller. It's even harder to build a reselling business. And what do I mean by a reselling business? I mean a business that continuously posts profits, a business that is running literally 365 days in a year, a business that continually has access to inventories, a business that has really defined system and processes in place to ensure that the business is running, guaranteeing profits on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. This is freaking hard. And this, my friends, is the reason why you are suddenly seeing that there's no connection between what is said online and the reality on ground. You are not alone. A lot of people have noticed this, and a lot of people have even been frustrated because when they got first introduced to reselling, they heard that yes, it's just a simple principle. You go to the thrift store, you buy an item, you bring it onto eBay and sell it, and you make a lot of profit. You only need to rinse and repeat the process, and then you begin to post a lot of profit. You see, this was what was sold to a lot of people, and some people in extreme cases quit their jobs for these dreams, only for them to realize that, look, making this simple process, as simple as it is, buy things from point A, buy it very low, bring it to point B, using eBay as a platform, you can sell it to a customer at a different location and make profit. This simple process, as simple as it is, it's very, very, very hard to implement. Not like it's not doable. It's very doable, of course. I'm a living witness to the fact that it's doable, but the thing is, there is a certain skill requirement. There is a certain mindset that you should have. There's a certain form of discipline that goes along with this whole process. And there's a certain kind of life situation that you should also have to be able to be successful and to be able to just do this thing effortlessly. It's going to take a lot of time. Sometimes the amount of time you put in might even be more than what you put in a normal job. If you don't have this mindset of building a successful business, or if you don't have the mindset of being okay with delayed gratification, you're going to be blown off pretty much sooner or later. If you do not have the mindset that a lot of hours is going to be expended to be able to see a little, just a very tiny result, you're going to be blown off pretty soon. If you do not have the discipline of a self-starter, a self-motivator, you only need to wait for someone to tell you to do something before you do it, you may as well look elsewhere, because this is not what reselling entails. The skill set that you need, sometimes they are very, very hard to develop. The discipline that you need, the discipline to wake up in the morning, the discipline to see hope even when there is no hope, the discipline to stay focused even when things are not selling, the discipline to stay motivated to continue to list items on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Man, this is a lot of discipline. If you do not have the patience also to know that, look, sometimes some items are going to sell fast, and sometimes it just takes longer for some items to sell. That patience in itself is a skill set, and sometimes not everyone has this kind of skill set. So, but if you just hear on YouTube, someone is saying, yes, I bought this, I sold that, this is what I sold, everything looks so effortless, understand that there are certain categories of resellers. There are resellers that make a lot of money, a huge lot of money, just talking about reselling. And YouTube has definitely made that possible. In my opinion, it's absolutely a very good business model as well. To talk about reselling, just to give tips. Perhaps you've been a reseller for so long, and now you just want to give tips to upcoming resellers to make them better. You get paid for that. That is a very beautiful business model. But then understand that reselling requires much more than the beautiful things that you tend to hear on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. Back end, there is a lot of work to be done. A lot of work. Believe me, you're going to put in a lot of work. And sometimes your financial or your family situation might not be so favorable for you to put in this untold amount of upfront work. For you to be able to make a profit on a consistent basis, believe me, requires much more than just working 9 to 5. Sometimes you might have to work 12, 15 hours a day, especially when your systems have not been developed, especially when you don't have a fixed supplier, especially when you still have to drive out all day long trying to look for items to buy at the thrift store. But as soon as you begin to put systems and processes in place, it becomes increasingly easier. But the time between you starting out and having the right systems, sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it could be 2 years if you are lucky. Sometimes it could take up to 3 years. It could take up to 5 years to finally be able to just set up a system where you have items coming in and you have a system where these items are going to be listed, the systems where these items are going to be checked for defect, and the systems where these items are going to be shipped out as soon as they sell. This is the reselling business that you might not be hearing much about. The beautiful side of reselling, which you tend to hear, kind of appeals more to a wide number of audiences, especially those just trying to start out. And the beautiful thing is that YouTube pays you to talk about this. As a matter of fact, I see this business model as very smart, very good, also while giving value to a lot of people that are trying to start out. But then this business model in itself, I really do feel that a lot of work still needs to be done to drive home the real message, which is, yes, you can actually make a lot of money from reselling, but it's going to take a lot of sacrifice. Sometimes sacrifice are just too much to pay, especially if you don't have the kind of personality that resonates directly with reselling. If you are just somebody that believes it's an escape route, an easy way for you to escape being bossed over, an easy way for you to escape being going to a job that you don't like, believe me, you are going to have situations in reselling that you also don't like, situations that are going to make you want to throw up, situations that are going to make you want to give up. And you're going to have times where you begin to question yourself, hey, I'm putting in a lot of time, but the returns are not even enough to pay my bills. It's going to be like you will be asked, hey, when you had a 9 to 5 jobs, in any case, you had an insurance. In any case, you're able to pay your housing fees. You were able to pay your internet costs. But then now you have a reselling business. It looks like you are selling. But at the end of the month, when you pay your taxes and you pay all your expenses, you just realize that whatever is left is not really at par with the hours you have put in. That's pretty much like the more you look, the less you see. This is a phase of reselling, and a lot of people tend to give up at this phase. But the good news is, I'm also not only going to come here and tell you that reselling is hard, I'm also going to give you some good news. Reselling, if you pay your dues, if you pay the price, is a very beautiful path to success. It's not the only path to success. You could also get success even while working a 9 to 5 job, but reselling is also another way to get success. If you pay the price, meaning you do all what is required. You wake up in the morning, you list your items, you sell, you want to commit to research, you want to put in the work. It doesn't matter what platform you decide to sell on, either it's eBay or Amazon, there is a lot of work to be put. But if you can put in this work, ultimately, you're going to find success. The returns are going to blow you off. If you do it part-time, if you do it full-time, there are benefits loaded in it. You have freedom sometimes to determine where you want to work, but understand that this freedom is not at the beginning. In the beginning, you have to put in a lot of work, but as time goes on, you'll definitely be able to buy back your time, put in a lot of systems in place. Then you can begin to have this ultimate benefit of determining when you want to work, when you want your shops to be open, or when you want your shop closed. These benefits are much more like a long-term thing. So the earlier you understand what you are getting yourself into by being a reseller, and the earlier you also have the right mindset to understand that, yes, it's not a substitute to a 9 to 5 job, but rather it's another kind of job that if you are not careful in the beginning might even take up more than what a 9 to 5 job takes from you and pay you less. If you have this kind of mindset and still decide to go for it, definitely it's going to be better for you on the long run. So this is my 2 cents. Understand that reselling is not easy. It's a lot of work. It's doable. There are certain instances where you have to completely change your lifestyle. Sometimes you have to, unfortunately, stop having friends. You have to, unfortunately, stop going to parties, stop going to nightclubs. At the beginning, you have to really isolate yourself. And this is not being stressed enough. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I watch a lot of people talking about reselling. And I feel like, yes, I appreciate the work they are doing to pass the information to you that reselling is possible, but would have been great if they can go a step further to really stress the amount of effort, the amount of time that goes into all this, setting up things and running a successful resale business. I hope this video helps you. If it does, Do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. Until I see you again, peace.